evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have another penny box hunt here on the Penny Hunter channel. So I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is we have a penny hunt here today. I do have some other boxes I need to go through, which I picked up today. The bad news is my videos are going to be a little bit sporadic over the next week or two. I have a very large project that I'm working on, and it needs to be done by April 10th. So I will be getting penny videos out when I can, but that is a much more important project for me. So I may be reducing my videos down to 1 or 2 a week over the next several weeks. I haven't decided exactly how it's going to affect, but I will not be doing daily penny videos, at least for a few weeks. So that is the bad news. The good news, like I said, is we have a box right here, and it looks good. We have a number of older looking ends, so there's a good amount of copper in here, but what caught my eye is we also have a good amount of these shiny enders. They look almost uncirculated. That coin right there is 19 years old, and it looks like it's completely uncirculated. That one's from the 80s, and that also looks pretty uncirculated. That's a back. Now, last time, if you want to click above, last time I found a box like this, it had a bunch of uncirculated 1960s in it. It could just be the way these coins appear, but I think we may have some sort of uncirculated dump going on here. So let's find out what's here, and I'll bring you back on our first find. Wanted to bring you in. This was inside roll number 1. Now, what was I just telling you a second ago? I think we have some kind of uncirculated penny dump. This was just in the roll. It wasn't on either of the enders, so it wasn't anything I showed you already. This is a beautiful coin, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be an upgrade in my book. Roll number 1 gives us a shiny 1977 Canadian. Guys, this might be a very interesting box. Roll number 2 gives us our first wheat cent. We got a 1946 out of Philadelphia. 1 Wheatie. 3 points on the board, counting that Canadian we just found. Roll number 9. It's our second wheat cent. It's a 1951 out of Denver. Worth 1 point. I'll take it. Alright, well, we are done 10 rolls. I wanted to bring you in, and I wanted to show you we have quite a number of shiny zinc coins. That 1982D is in fact copper. I'm going to check all of these against my book at the end of this hunt. Remember, this is only 10 rolls in, and we already have this many potential upgrades. That's almost 1 per roll. So we could have quite a number of potential book upgrades at the end of this box if this keeps up. And we had 151 copper pennies in 10 rolls, giving us a 15.1 copper per roll average, or 30% of the box. That is on pace for our second best box of all time, trailing only one, which was 16.6. This looks like it could end up being a very interesting box overall. Roll number 13 brings us 2 Canadians. One's a 1981 and the other's a 1988. Only our second and third Canadians of the box in roll 13. Same roll. I didn't see that it was a Canadian because most Canadians are copper. We got a nice shiny 1983 Canadian. That's worth 1 point, but I really like how that one looks. Box is starting to wake up. Very next roll, roll number 14, we have 1 more Canadian. That's 4 Canadians in 2 rolls. Wanted to bring you in for this find right here. I find a number of shiny 60s and 70s. I usually don't find a ton of 1980s in this good of condition. So it has a little gunk, and it has some spotting here and there, but overall, it's a really nice coin, and I don't find a lot from the late 80s that look like this. I don't know if it had to do with the zinc composition and they were just figuring it out in the late 80s and they just didn't know, but I have found a lot of 80s pennies that are flat, are worn. This is a really nice example of a 1987 penny. Same roll as that 87. I wanted to put my glove back on for this one. It's not a proof. You would be able to see the reflection behind the memorial if it was. We have found proofs before, but it's a nice coin. Look at this 2003. Now, I pointed that out in the beginning of this hunt. We had a lot of shiny enders, and I'm not sure what we have here, but it looks like somebody dumped a bunch of uncirculated coins, and they ended up in this box. All right, I wanted to bring you in roll number 15. I've been doing this long enough to spot what I believe to be older wheat cents just from looking at the edges. Now, we're going to put this to the test. If I'm wrong, it's not going to make it into the final video, but if I'm right, you're about to see two older wheat cents in the same roll. Yep, that's one. That's a 1937. That's worth 3 points, and it's our third wheat cent of the box so far. And nope. Okay, well, I went 1 for 2. That wasn't terrible. I did find an old one. Alrighty then. All right, roll number 16 brings us another Canadian. This one's a 1984. It's got some rainbow toning to it. Oh yeah, wow, look at that. Beautiful toned coin. I'm going to set that aside. That's a nice one. And the reason I set up the tripod, not the tripod, well, whatever you want to call it, the stand. Another wheat cent. 1957. Looks like that is out of Philly. I don't see a mark. I see a blue mark there, but it doesn't look like a mint mark. I want to check this out under the scope. I'm not sure what's going on with this coin. Let me check it out, and I'll bring it right back. Alright guys, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this coin. That's the 1957 wheat cent I just had in front of you a second ago. Check out that U. It's almost dragged down. It doesn't look like a double die. That's just, it's weird. It looks weird. Some of the letters appear smaller than other letters. Look how much bigger the U is compared to the T, as example. You see some stuff on top of the T as well. The letters just seem mismatched. You see how the W is off-center from the E? It could be post-mint damage, but it's weird. The I and the N look bigger than the G, O, D, and God. Again, this is just a weird coin. And then what caught my attention before that was how the date looked. Now, again, it could be post-mint damage, but it appears that there is something under the 7 right off to the end of the 7's tail. Right there. I'm not sure what that is exactly. And then we do have some filled-in dates in the 9 and the 5. This is a pretty funky coin. If you guys know anything about this coin, if you guys can do some research on your end, I don't know what this is. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this 1957 wheat cent. All right, guys. Roll number 17 is going to give us another Canadian and another old wheat cent. We got a 1979 Canadian. Oops. Trying to hold this correctly, and my fingers are not cooperating. 1979 Canadian. And a 1930 Philadelphia penny. That's another 1930s penny in just a couple rolls. 3 more points added to our score. Roll number 19, 2 more Canadians have been found, a 1974 and a 1980. 2 more points added to our score. Roll number 20, we're going to have our 6th wheat cent of the find, our 6th wheat cent find of the box. It's a 1957 Denver. 1 point on the board. I'll take it. Not even halfway through. Wanted to bring you in. This is a dirty coin. I believe that's a 54. Yeah, I want to say it's a 54. I can't say if there's a mint mark, but it's a chewed up coin. It's a wheat cent. It counts as a wheat cent found, but I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to toss this one back into circulation. 7 wheat cents, 21 rolls. Roll number 24 brings us wheat cent number 8. It's a rare one by my accords. I just went through my wheat cents last week, and I don't have a lot of 1954s, especially not a lot of 1954Ds. For some reason, I only have maybe 10 or 12 total out of all the wheat cents I have found. Now, I have an exciting announcement to make when we find a couple more wheat cents in this box, and I assume it will happen. We're only halfway through. So stay tuned for that announcement. Once I find a couple more wheat cents, it's pretty big news. All right, guys, roll number 26 gives us our 10th Canadian of the box. We're only halfway through, and we're at 10 already. Roll number 30 brings us 2 Canadians. One's a 1981. That's number 11 of the box. And a 1963. Which means it's a young head. Haven't found a young head in a couple boxes. I'll take it. 3 points added to our score. Same roll buried under some other pennies here. We had another Canadian, 1985. 5 points in one roll. Roll number 31. We have found our first 2009 of the box. Roll number 33. Wheat cent number 9. It's another 1930s. It's our third of the box so far. It's a 1935 out of Philly. That's another 3 points. And as a reminder, I did tell you that there would be an announcement about the Wheaties further down in the video. Well, if I find one more Wheatie, I will share the news with you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have wheat cent number 10. It's a 1948 out of Philadelphia. But more importantly, I have something cool to show you. I have been keeping track of every Wheatie I have found since I started hunting boxes in July. This is box number 64.7. I had some extra loose rolls before I started buying boxes. So, 990 Wheaties found before this box. Right now, that was wheat cent number 1,000 that I have pulled out of 64 and a half boxes. Figured you guys would like to see that. Pretty cool. Number 1,000. I picked it up quickly and put it right back down because I did not want to pick it up again without having my glove on. I've shown you these in the past, but every time I find them, I still like to show them off. It's not a proof exactly, but I really like to see these 2008s with the mirror finishes. They're just so unbelievably beautiful. Same roll as that 2008. Roll number 36 gives us another Canadian, 1985. Roll number 37 brings us another wheat cent. I wasn't expecting this one. I didn't see it, and it looked like a copper penny, so I didn't have the tripod set up. But here it is, wheat cent number 11 in 37 rolls. Roll number 41 gives us another Canadian. It's Canadian number 16 of the box. It's from 1981. Oh, we have 2 in the same roll. There it is, 2. Number 17, 1975. Roll number 42 brings us another Canadian. It's Canadian number 18. It's a 1984. Roll number 43, another Canadian. It's a 1976. Same roll. That's Canadian number 20 in 43 rolls. Could we finish at 25? That would be exciting. The condition of this penny is, it's pretty nice. A little gunk on the front, but I wonder if I can clean it up a little bit without marking it up too much, but the back is almost pristine. Beautiful coin. Another Canadian. In roll number 44, it's a 1965. We've gotten a lot of Canadians. We only had one Canadian in the first 10 rolls. We've gotten 20 in the last 24 rolls. Pretty crazy. Roll number 45 brings us a wheat cent. Looks kind of old. Not sure if it will be or not. It's a 1942. It's not super new. It's not in the 50s, but it's not super old either. I'll take it. 2 points. Roll number 48. We got another wheat cent. Another 40s. 1941. 2 more points added to our score. We've been getting a lot of 1940s wheat cent lately. Same roll as the 41 wheat cent. We have another beautiful Canadian in this box. 2011. That's Canadian number 22. Roll number 49. We have another old penny here. Unbelievable. Roll number 49 brings us our first S mint mark of the box. I almost was going to tell you that we didn't have an S mint mark all box, but here it is. It's a 1944. 2 points for the 40s, 1 for the S. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.